Breaking news: in violation of freedom of religion in America and freedom of speech, the hotel that was slated to host the Israel summit in Nashville, Tennessee next week has now canceled our contract. Unfortunately, threats and pressure from the pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, and don't get me wrong, pro-Iranian mob that is sweeping across America has now made it to the Bible Belt. And we're unfortunately disappointed that Nashville decided to cave to the enemies of Israel and the enemies of democracy. This is really important, however, and make sure you understand this. The Israel summit is not canceled. The enemies of God will not win, and this incredibly historic, important event is still happening May 20th through 22nd next week in Nashville, Tennessee. All of those details coming on today's video. I'm Luke Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. Welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of anti-Israel propaganda and Jew hatred, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Go ahead and subscribe, guys, and follow us on all of our social media platforms. You're not going to want to miss out on anything coming out over the next week because it is about to get big. The news and the media is going to be, you're going to be hearing about this all over the place. And it's important. As many of you know, some of you guys are registered for the Israel Summit, May 20th through 22nd. And by the way, you should still go register. There's a link in the description below because we had over 400 people signed up, still signed up. Now we need 1,000, we need 2,000, we need 3,000. I'm going to get into that. You guys know protesters have been sweeping across the college campuses in America, sweeping across the land. And now they've brought their hatred of Israel and the Jewish people to Nashville, Tennessee, of all places, right in the middle of the Bible Belt. So last week, we began receiving intelligence that threats and protesters in Nashville were trying to work to get the event canceled. We began seeing that they were organizing on social media. They were saying, we're determined to get the hotel to cancel the venue. We talked to the hotel. Everything was good. We were organizing, dealing with security, making sure that we had sufficient security. Everything was fine. Well, within 48 hours, their threats had escalated to the point and organized to the point that we received a phone call that our contract was being canceled because it was too dangerous for our group and for everyone else in the area and involved with the venue. And they said we had to cancel the event. Again, to be clear, Hayuvel and the Israel Guys will be hosting the Israel Summit in Nashville, Tennessee next week, May 20th through 22nd. And I know I'm going to say that multiple times, but make no doubt about this. Even if we have to do it at Nashville's Capitol steps, or Tennessee's Capitol steps, this will be happening, and every single one of you guys should be there. We're in process of finding a new venue right now in Nashville or the surrounding area. So if you're registered, don't worry. You can keep all of your plans. You might have to find a new hotel room, but you can keep all of your plans. This will be happening. So our legal counsel is Hiram Sasser, Executive General Counsel for First Liberty Institute. He said, quote, "It is un-American and illegal to cancel a gathering due to religious beliefs, and quite frankly, it's morally wrong. The Sonesta Hotel and others, Nashville, cannot surrender to terror in violation of federal and Tennessee law." The question is, how has this come to America? Do we want American businesses and hotels to surrender to pro-Hamas groups and protesters? Anti-American terror organizations on American campuses? Do we want to surrender to these anti-American groups? Does Nashville and the Bible Belt and Tennessee and other surrounding states not want the business of those who support America and oppose terrorism? That's the question. And just in case you're wondering, the Israel Summit is touted as the first annual gathering of pro-Israel supporters who unconditionally support Israel's right to be sovereign in the entirety of the land of Israel, including Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, the entirety of the land of Israel. It's a peaceful gathering of pro-Israel Americans who simply want to stand with the Jewish people's right to be sovereign in their God-given, historic homeland. We got speakers from member of Knesset Ohad Tal from Israel, former U.S. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann, journalist Caroline Glick from Israel, international spokesman for Hebron Yishai Fleischer, Aria Beremutz from the Our Goat Farm in Judea, president and CEO of the NRB Troy Miller, and many others. We have musician Yair Levy coming to host a worship event in Hebrew and English. This is a peaceful gathering of Americans who simply want to stand with the Jewish people in their right to their God-given land. Nothing more, nothing less. Not only will we not cancel this conference, we will double down and have many more people attend. You can count on that. The response to terrorism and threats of terrorism is not surrender. This conference will continue even if we have to hold it outdoors on the steps of the Nashville Capitol building. That's directly from Joshua Waller right here at the Israel Guys and Operations Director from Hayovel. And by the way, you guys know our main organization is Hayovel, where we serve Israel's farmers and we bring pro-Israel Christians to come and serve the Jewish communities and farms in Judea and Samaria. Who are we? And the Israel Guys is simply an outlet of that ministry. We're a faith-based Christian ministry that brings volunteers from all over the world to Israel to aid Israeli farmers in planting, pruning, harvesting their vineyards, planting trees, and anything else that the Jewish people of Judea and Samaria need with our physical hands and actions. We're simply there to serve and bless them. And you know what their goal is? To live peacefully in the land of Israel. It is Hayovel's belief that God promised the land of Israel to the Jewish people, that the Jewish people have a right to sovereignty over the entirety of the land of Israel. And Hayovel has organized and is sponsoring with the Israel Guys, the Israel Summit, our first annual conference of pro-Israel supporters who unconditionally support Israel's right to be sovereign in the entirety of the land of Israel. We're not going to let the enemies of God's kingdom and the enemies of Israel and the Jewish people win. Not at all. We are ready to stand and continue standing against terrorism and the pro-Hamas mob in America, and stand with America and stand with Israel and the Jewish people. What can you guys do? I'm sure everybody's wondering. You're ready to jump on board. So I've got a couple of action items for you, things that you can do right now. Number one, obviously, is please consider signing up for the Israel Summit and coming to Nashville next week. And like I said, we can guarantee this summit is still happening, and you can sign up right now and you will receive the details as to where the venue will be very soon. We're working very hard on that, and we're confident that all of those pieces are going to come together. So you can sign up at theisraelguys.com/summit or click the link directly in the description below. We encourage you to tell all of your friends and family and your community about that to help us spread the word on social media. A couple more things you can do from your home or wherever you're located right now. You can call the Sonesta Hotel and let them know that you support the Israel Summit to hold our event there, which is where our contract was originally with, to have the event at that venue. We've got the number, all the details, and information for you to help you do that down in the description below. And you can call the governor, you can call senators, congressmen in Tennessee. We also have contact information and all of the details in the description below. Basically, we want you guys to voice your support for the Israel Summit in Tennessee, voice your support for the Jewish people and for Israel and for democracy in America. Just let them know that you want to see the Israel Summit happen in Tennessee, and we have a right to peacefully gather and have freedom of religion and freedom of speech. We don't want to see the end of those things in America. Now's the time for action. Do not remain silent. We had over 400 people signed up for the Israel Summit already. That number is growing by the day. Now we need 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people to show up in Nashville, Tennessee, May 20th through 22nd. This historic gathering is by no means canceled, and it is going to happen, God willing. I just hope that you guys will be able to join us there. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of news coming out over the course of the next couple days and this entire week to see what's happening. And as always, tune out the fake news and tune into what's actually happening in the land of Israel. We're going to be here every single day with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.